Everett?
Richard, hey.
Nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you so much for coming.
Glad to be here.
So the problem I wrote about is with the bathtub upstairs.
Okay, lead on. How long you guys been here?
It's been about 3 years now, and after we moved in, we took on this whole gut renovation in the bathroom.
You did it yourself?
We did.
Good.
Yeah, and
that's
it's
great.
good. Thanks, and been happy, but after all that, one problem arose, and that's now when I go to draw a bath, water starts coming out the shower head.
Okay, yeah, I've seen that before. Let me in there. All right. Well, that can be really annoying, can't it?
It is, and this is where we like to do bath time with my 8-month-old, and so you can imagine it's especially annoying.
All right, so what you got is a shower valve with a tub spout diverter. Now, you sent me that video, so I knew what you had. So what I did is I brought some demonstrators, some pieces to help understand what could be going wrong here. Let me just run to the truck.
Okay. All right, Richard, what do we have here?
Well, I thought we would take over your beautiful living room study and turn it into a little training classroom to help understand what's going on inside the wall. So, for years, there was always a choice in what you put inside for a pressure-balanced shower valve. It was either a shower valve or a tub and shower valve. So typically, it always would have a control valve right here, and then when you turned it on, the water would default by coming out through the spout down the bottom, or you would turn a diverter, and then it would positively drive the water up through the shower head. And that was either going to be a slide like this or a push button like this.
Yep, that's what the old shower had, actually.
Okay, but the industry has moved away from this. And so a basic shower valve is used for almost all the devices nowadays. And so you got the valve right here, you got a hot and a cold line coming up into the shower valve, and you turn it on. And now the water, by design, you hope, will fall down through here, and it comes through this spout. And you'll see in the default position, there's a hole that lets the water come out. I've cut this apart so you can see it. But as you lift it, you see what happens is a guillotine that will close off right here. And now when you do that, water pressure against it will hold it closed and then force the water this way and actually goes through the valve and out through the shower head. So some pretty interesting engineering inside here. You see there's two holes? Mm-hmm. There's one hole that's larger. Water would come through the larger hole, will fall down here. You close that gate, it forces its way back up through that smaller hole. We'll look at on the opposing side. So now it allows water to pass right through the valve body. So it's fundamentally really a T. The water's just passing through it, and it's been designed right into the valve body. So the question is, why are you getting your symptom? Well, there's only really two things it could or should be. One is some problem inside this guillotine mechanism that's causing a partial restriction that sends it back this way. Or it could be that there's just too much water pressure trying to come down through this relatively small pipe, and it can't get through because there's so much pressure, and it forces it back this way. So we're going to do one diagnostic test, and we'll know what your problem is. All right, so diverter tub spouts are attached a couple of different ways. One would be a set screw down here, which I know this manufacturer doesn't have. The other is just that it's threaded onto the wall. Okay. So now you can see right here, there's an O-ring right here with a thread. All right, so now, if we turn this on and water comes out here, and we still have the same symptom, we know it's not downstream. It's not in the diverter spout, okay? So let's give that a test. Hey, look what we discovered. All right, so look at this. This is also telling me that is really high pressure. We're just about shooting across the tub. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go downstairs and I'm gonna throttle down the supply valves up here. Why don't you put that tub spout on carefully?
Okay.
We might be onto something here. I'm going to utilize the local isolation valves to the second floor bath as balancing valves by closing the valves almost fully, and it should reduce the volume and the pressure to the shower valve. If I adjust the water pressure correctly, the water should only come out of the tub spout when we turn the shower valve on. All right, so down in the basement, I found the shutoff valves to this bathroom group, the hot and the cold, and I throttled them down so there should be less hot water pressure and cold water pressure to this valve, and that means hopefully we'll have the right amount of water through that spout. So give it a try. You always get the honors, the homeowners. Tub spout has water, and the shower head
Good.
Doesn't.
So you're telling me this whole time it was just the water pressure?
Well, in your case, it was the water pressure, but I was glad to be able to fix it for you, but also to teach people about some of the things that can and will go wrong with a tub spout diverter. All right? I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
I'll go clean up my little classroom down on the first floor. I'll see you.
All right. See you later.
Wow, that was terrific. I just learned a lot about spouts and valves and everything.
Water goes a lot of places.
Although I do have to say, and don't take this the wrong way, I found your solution maybe beneath you. I was expecting something more complicated and elegant. That was very simple.
Well, it turned out to be the only sort of affordable fix we could do for them. You know, a lot of people would say, why don't you just put on a pressure reducing valve, you know, because there was too much pressure. Well, that wasn't the problem there. There's no other place in this building where a little bit too much pressure was going to come in the way. If you had too much pressure on a toilet tank, it just would fill a little fast.
Right.
But only in this place that we have this hole behind the valve, if too much pressure comes in, it will not go down there, but it can also go up there.
Yeah, I sense the fact that you do not like the change to this type of valve, that
Right.
you're longing for the old days,
Right.
which are what?
Right. In the old days, every valve would have these two shutoffs right here behind the plate, so I could have throttled it here if I wanted to. But more importantly, the original shower valves had this, which was a built-in diverter that said, instead of relying on that tub spout to drive the water up, you said, I want it to be from the spout or out of the shower head, and it's like a set of gates on a train track. The train either goes this way or this way.
Yeah.
So I did this little demo right here. So this represents where the shower valve is. There's a shower arm. So here's the tub spout right here. But the tub spout diverters that have the diverter here instead of up in the valve can have some restriction, either at the gate or at the connection itself. And there's a little bit of a restriction there. It might be subtle, but if you now close it, as if you're making this aperture just slightly bit smaller like this, so now the water goes the wrong way. So you see how it's going back up through the valve, that little tiny hole, and really that's the condition that our homeowner had. So what we did is we throttled it back, was fundamentally the same as doing this.
That's not in your mind a temporary fix. We can have those shutoffs closed.
It's not perfect. In an ideal world, we would have been able to go in and put the right valve in that would have these shutoff valves, or this one right here. But this at least gave him the chance to have the valve that won't drive him crazy, as long as somebody doesn't change the settings.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, very good.
All right.
I learned a ton. Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.